Hello students, I welcome all of you again to the YouTube channel of SRT. I hope you guys are liking the content that I am putting on this particular channel. Do subscribe the channel to get all the latest updates that I am putting it over here. In this particular video, I am going to teach you practice set number 10.2 of Mathematics of Standard 8. And in this video, we are finishing the entire chapter. Practice set number 10.1 I have already explained in my previous video. Okay, chalo, let's go ahead with practice set number 10.2. Come on. Okay, so now students, we start with your practice set number 10.2. 10.1 was already covered in your previous video. Let me share the file of exercise number 10.2. Okay, so now in practice set number 10.2, there will be total 7 sums. 3 sums are displayed right across there in front of your screen. And as we move ahead, I'll show you the remaining sums also. Okay. Okay. So now difference between practice set number 10.1 and 10.2 is in practice set number 10.1, whatever divisor you all had, all the divisors were monomial. And in this case, your divisors are binomial. Okay. So when your divisor is a binomial, how exactly you are supposed to solve the sum? That is what we will be doing in this particular lecture. Okay. Chalo, let's start. I'll just divide my screen into 2 parts so that it becomes easier for you all to understand. Okay. Starting with your question number 1. First question, I directly write the dividend and your divisor. Your dividend in this case is y square plus 10y plus 24. And your divisor, okay, before you write your divisor, first you need to check whether your dividend is there in standard form or no. What do we mean by standard form is your the terms has to start with maximum index and it should go in descending order. So over here the index is 2. Either koi index nahi hai means its index is 1. And for the constant term, we consider that the index is 0. So 2, 1, 0, it is already there in descending order. So your dividend is in standard form. Also one more thing, whenever your divisor is not a monomial, means if it has more than 2 terms, like in this case it is a binomial, you are supposed to insert the missing terms in the dividend also. Now what do we understand by missing terms? मैं खाली छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूं इधर. Suppose if my dividend is y cube plus 2y minus 30. Okay, now over here, if I see this particular dividend, the index is there in descending order, but after y cube, which term should come usually in descending order? Very obvious, after y cube, there should be a square term. Square term is not present, so you insert it with 0 coefficient. This is what I mean by saying insertion of missing terms. It was not required in your first exercise. Over there, all your divisors were monomial. When divisor is monomial, missing terms need not be written. But whenever your divisor is binomial, you have to write the missing terms. In this particular sum, there is no such problem. So we directly go ahead with the sum the way it is given. Divisor is y plus 4. Now, I start with my division process. Okay. First, I write my dividend over here, y square plus 10y plus 24. And on this side, I will write y plus 4. Okay. You have to do your working part over here. Abhi, in your working part, you need to be careful about one thing. It is not your rough work. It is a part of your solution. Okay, so whatever you do, it has to be neatly done and should be shown in the exam also. Again, I repeat, it is not your rough work. Okay, so in your working, I start with the first step. You have to write your divisor, which is y plus 4. This divisor, you are supposed to multiply by something. And your target should be always to get the first term of your dividend. My first term of the dividend is y square. So that target you will be writing it over here. So I write y square over here. Okay. Now you are supposed to think that ये जो y है, इसको किससे multiply करेंगे तो you will get y square. There is no number over here. Okay, so you directly need to adjust your variable. So y into y will give you y square. by whatever you need to multiply, that you write it in the blank over here. So this y into this y is going to give you y square. But in case of binomial, you are also supposed to multiply your second number, that is 4, with y, and whatever answer you get, you are supposed to write it ahead. Ye jo second term hai na, this is not in your control. Okay, you have to write whatever you are getting. But the first term, okay, you multiply by such a number so that you get the first term of the dividend. Okay, so now over here, this 4 into y, the additional term that I get is plus 4y. Whatever number you have multiplied, this particular number will come in the quotient ka part. So that I write it over here as y. And whatever number you get over here, you are supposed to write it below the dividend. Okay, so that number I write it as y square plus 4y. Then you will leave one line. After leaving one line, you are supposed to draw a horizontal line. Okay, that line you are leaving in order to change the sign. Okay, whatever terms you have written on the second line, sabka sign change hoga. If it is positive, it becomes negative. If it is negative, it will become positive. So plus y square becomes minus y square, plus 4y becomes minus 4y. After you have changed the sign, you are supposed to ignore your old sign. So this sign you are not going to consider at all. Over here, there was a plus. This sign you are not going to consider at all. Clear? Okay. So now y square minus y square, this will get cancelled. Then plus 10y minus 4y will become plus 6y. And this plus 24, you will get it down as it is. No need to change the sign of this 24. Sign kiska change hoga? Sign only of those terms will change which you are writing it on the second line. I hope I have made myself clear. Okay. Now that plus 24, I write it down as it is. Now you go to the second step in the working. Again, you write your divisor y plus 4. Multiply by something, and your target is always to get the first term in your dividend that you have written over here. So your target is to get 6y. Now you need to think, ask yourself that this y किससे मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो 6y आएगा. Number part में I want 6, so I write 6 over here because 1 into 6 is going to give me 6. Variable part no need to change because I have a y and what is required is y only. So in variable part, nothing changes. So what you are multiplying is only 6. So y into 6 gives you 6y. But as I told you, by default, even the second number gets multiplied, which you will write it over here. So 4 plus 4 into 6 gives me plus 24. Whatever number you have written over here becomes a part of your quotient. Okay. So over here, I will write plus 6. Either मैंने लिखा 6y plus 24. Whatever number I get over here, that I have written it down. Is that clear? Okay, I hope you all are understanding everything now. Leave a line for sign change. Okay, take the new signs, negative, negative. 6y will get cancelled. 24 minus 24 gets cancelled. Remainder becomes 0. Khatam. Your division process is over. At the end of every question, you are supposed to write your quotient and you are supposed to write your remainder. Okay, quotient is whatever number you get it over there. So that is y plus 6. So I write over here y plus 6 and your remainder is 0. Preferably, you are supposed to put these answers in boxes like this. And these boxes you need to draw using scale and pencil. That adds to the neatness of your work. Okay, clear? Going to the second question, that is your question number 2. Okay. सबसे पहले you write your dividend. Your dividend in this case is p square plus 7p minus 5. First, you need to check whether your dividend is in standard form and whether any missing terms are required or not required. Standard form, I start with my maximum index 2. 2 ke baad the index is 1 and then there is a constant term. So it is already in standard form and there are no missing terms required over here. Okay. Then I write my divisor. Divisor is p plus 3. Now you start with your division process. So this line and this line. Okay. I'm drawing one additional line over here in order to do the working. Working, again, I repeat, it is a part of your fair work. You are not supposed to do it as a rough work. It needs to be shown in the exam also. Okay. Your dividend, I write it inside p square plus 7p minus 5. divisor I write it out over here. I start with the first step in the working. I take p plus 3, multiply by something in order to get, your target is always to get the first term of the dividend. My first term of the dividend is p square. So that term I will write over here. Okay. So my target is to get p square. Now this p multiply by what will give you p square? That is what you need to think. It is very obvious, p into p is going to give you p square. P square to mil gaya. But when binomial gets multiplied, by default, even the second number you have to multiply, and uska answer you will write it over here. So plus 3 into p will give me plus 3p. Whatever number you have got over here, it becomes a part of your quotient. So that I write it as p, and whatever number you get over here, that I write it below the dividend. Okay, so that becomes p square plus 3p. Now I leave a line for sign change. Okay, so this becomes minus, this plus becomes minus. Once you get your new signs, you are not supposed to consider this sign at all. Ignore that sign. Okay, so p square minus p square get cancelled. This is plus 7p minus 3p. Plus 7 minus 3 is going to give you plus 4. Okay, and this minus 5, you get it down as it is without changing the sign. साइन किसका चेंज होगा? Whatever you write in the second line, only those terms का sign will change. Original signs are not going to change, so that remains as it is. So minus 5, I get it down. Clear? Okay, now going ahead with the second step of your working, I again take my divisor, that is p plus 3. This I need to multiply by something, and your target is always to get the first term of your dividend. First term of your dividend now I will write is 4p. So what I want is 4p. अभी ये p किससे multiply करेंगे तो 4p मिलेगा? Very obvious, p you will multiply by 4 in order to get 4p. Variable need not be changed because p है और मेरे को p ही चाहिए. There is no change required. Okay, but as I told you, when binomial gets multiplied, by default the second number gets multiplied and you need to write it over here. So plus 3 into 4 will give you plus 12. Okay, this number becomes a part of your quotient, so that I write plus 4 over here, and this number I write it below the dividend. So 4p plus 12 is what I will be writing. Okay, then you will leave one line and you will draw a horizontal line like this. You are leaving a line for sign change, so minus minus 4p gets cancelled. Now you have minus 5 and minus 12. Understand, many students what they do is minus into minus plus. Here the numbers are not getting multiplied. Whenever it is addition and subtraction, you have to see whether the numbers are of the same sign or opposite sign. If they are of the same sign, you will add the numbers, and if they are of the opposite sign, you will subtract the numbers. As simple as that. And final answer का जो sign होता है ना, it is always of the greater number. Okay, so if I follow that process, अगर ये मिस हुआ तो वापस थोड़ा सा रिवाइंड करके वापस सुनो. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट व्हाट आई सेड जस्ट नाउ. अभी ओवर हियर इट इज -5 and -12, so numbers are of the same sign, so you will add them. 5 and 12 का addition is what? 17. So I write that 17. Now I need to decide the sign of the answer. मतलब ये 17 का sign क्या रहेगा? Sign is always of the greater number. साइन मल्टीप्लाई नहीं हो रहा है इधर, बिकॉज नंबर्स मल्टीप्लाई नहीं हो रहा है. सो -5 -12, नंबर बड़ा कौन सा है? 12, एंड 12 का साइन कौन सा है? नेगेटिव. सो आई राइट अ माइनस साइन ओवर हियर. Okay, I hope this particular thing is clear. Now there is nothing left. Again, अभी ये जो -17 है, it is a constant term. Constant term का index you always consider as 0. Now this index is less देन डिवाइजर का इंडेक्स. अगर मेरा रिमाइंडर में इंडेक्स इज लेस देन डिवाइजर, योर डिवीजन एंड्स ओवर देयर. -17 becomes your remainder. So last में you need to write your quotient. Quotient I will write it as p plus 4, and you need to write your remainder. Remainder I will write it as -17. Clear? Okay, now going to question number 3. For that I need some space over here. So first part में जो कुछ किया है, I am erasing this. Okay, now question number 3, I will solve it over here. Question number 3, answer. I write my dividend first. Your dividend in this case is 3x plus 2x square plus 4x cube. Now, as I told you, सबसे पहले आपको check करने का है whether your dividend is there in standard form or no, and whether you need any missing terms or no. If you go to see, my dividend is not in standard form because my maximum index is 3. So that term should come first. So I write 4x cube first. बाद में 3 के बाद में क्या आना चाहिए? 2 आना चाहिए in descending order. So 2x square will come. Then with degree 1. And usually last में there is a constant term. There is no constant term given over here. So here I will be adding one extra term, which is 0. It is compulsory. If there is any missing term, you have to insert it with coefficient 0. Remember this thing. Okay, I have written it in different color, but you are not supposed to use any other color in your notebook. Okay, your divisor is what? X minus 4 in this case. Okay, now you will start with your division process. So for my division process, let me draw the required lines, this, and this, and I will draw one separate section for my working. Working is not a part of your rough work. Okay, it should be shown in the exam also. Now here I will write 4x cube plus 2x square plus 3x plus 0. And here I will write x minus 4. This is clear. Now I start with the first step of my working. I take my divisor x minus 4, multiply by something, and your target is always to get the first term of the dividend. My first term of the dividend is what? 4x cube. So I write 4x cube over here. So now you need to ask yourself कि multiply किससे करोगे? ये x by what I should multiply so that I will get 4x cube. First adjust the number part. Okay, number में you need 4 over here. Okay, and variable में either x है. What I want is x cube. So I'll multiply by x square. So x into 4x square will give me 4x cube. But when binomial gets multiplied, by default, even the second number you have to multiply and write it ahead over here. Okay, so minus 4 into 4x square will give me minus 16x square. Okay, because this is minus, this is plus, minus into plus gives you minus. Okay, now whatever number you have written over here, it becomes a part of your quotient, and whatever number you have written over here, it will be written below your dividend. Okay, so I'm just writing that 4x square up, and below my dividend 4x cube minus 16x square. Then you will leave a line and you will draw a horizontal line. You are leaving a line for sign change. All the numbers that you have written on the second line, uska sign opposite hoga. So 4x cube, there is no sign, means by default it was plus. That plus became minus. Then this is minus. This minus will become plus. Once you change the sign, you will be ignoring the old sign. Old sign consider karna hi nahi. Okay, so now 4x cube got cancelled. 2x square plus 16x square. ये minus consider ही नहीं होगा. So it is plus 2 plus 16. Plus 2 plus 16, very obvious, it will give you plus 18. Okay, this particular thing, both the terms will be written down as it is without change of sign. So 18x square plus 3x plus 0. Now you come to the second step of your working. Take your divisor x minus 4, multiply by something. Your target is to get the first term of your dividend. So I want 18x square. I write 18x square over here. Clear? अभी ये x को किससे multiply करोगे तो 18x square मिलेगा. That is what you are supposed to think. So very obvious, x will be multiplied by 18. 18 तो आ गया. Then x into x will give you x square. Okay, whenever a binomial gets multiplied, by default, even the second number will be multiplied and you will be writing it over here. So now 4 into 18 will give you 72, and it is minus 4 into plus 18. Minus into plus is minus, so I will write minus 72x. This is what you will get. Okay, clear? Now whatever number I write over here will be a part of your quotient. Whatever number I've got over here will be a part which you will write below the dividend. Okay, so accordingly, if I specify in the quotient part, I will get plus 18x, and niche I will write 18x square minus 72x. Now, very obvious, you will leave a line for sign change. So this becomes minus, this will become plus. ये तो cancel हो जाएगा 18x square. Now 3x plus 72x will give me 75x plus 0. So now again you go to the next step in your working. Okay, because अभी तक इधर का जो इंडेक्स है वो इधर से कम नहीं है. So I have to continue my division process. So now I will write x minus 4 multiply by something. My target is to get 75x. 75x is the first term of the dividend that you have written over here. Okay, so now x into what will give you 75x? Very obvious, 75. Variable कुछ नहीं आएगा because इधर x है और मेरे को x ही चाहिए. There is no change in the variable that I require. Okay, then minus 4 into 75. By default second term multiply होके इधर लिखोगे. So minus 4 into 75 will give me minus 300. Okay, whatever number I write over here, it forms a part of your quotient, and whatever number you have written over here forms a part which you need to write below the dividend. Okay, so now here I write plus 75, and niche I will write 75x minus 300. Then you will leave a line for sign change. तो ये suppose मैंने line leave कर दिया, then I write a minus, here I write a plus, this gets cancelled, 0 plus 300, I will write 300. Now ये जो 300 बचा है, this becomes your remainder, and whatever you have got over here, this becomes your quotient. Is that clear? Understood? Now ये जो क्वेश्चन रिमाइंडर मैंने इधर तो रेड कलर में हाईलाइट किया है, बट यू गाइज आर सपोज्ड टू राइट बिलो द डिवीजन द वे आई हैव रिटन फॉर दिस सम. आई डोंट हैव इनफ स्पेस ओवर हियर, हेंस आई एम नॉट राइटिंग. सो दिस क्लियर्स योर क्वेश्चन नंबर 3. नाउ आई गो अहेड टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so next 3 questions I have displayed on the screen for you. Okay, let's continue with that now. Okay, I'll just divide my page into 2 parts so that it becomes easier for you all to understand. Okay, question number 4. I first write my dividend. My dividend in this case is 2m square plus, it is 2m cube. So I write 2m cube plus m square plus m plus 9. And your divisor is 2m minus 1. So this is what you have. Okay. Dividend, first you check whether it is in standard form and whether all the terms are present or not. So if I go to see 3, 2, this will be 1, this will be considered as 0. हो गया, standard form में index है. Okay, and there are no missing terms present because 3 से चालू होता है, 3, 2, 1 index है, and there is a constant term also. So no need to insert any missing term in this case. So I make a column for working. Then I do the required lines to carry out my division process. So 1, 2 and 3. Chalo, let's start with the division now. सबसे पहले I will write 2m cube plus m square plus m plus 9, and on the other side I will write 2m minus 1. So check your first step. 2m minus 1, you multiply by something, and your target is always to get the first term of your dividend. My first term of the dividend is 2m cube, so I write that 2m cube over here. Okay, now let's see by what are we supposed to multiply. ये 2 किससे मल्टीप्लाई करोगे तो 2 मिलेगा, ऑब्वियसली 1. मतलब 2 नीड नॉट बी चेंज. नंबर पार्ट में देयर इज नो चेंज रिक्वायर्ड. वेरिएबल में देखो, वेरिएबल में मेरे पास m है, m क्यूब चाहिए, तो वेरी ऑब्वियस आई नीड टू मल्टीप्लाई बाय m स्क्वायर. So 2m into m square will give you 2m cube. But whenever a binomial gets multiplied, by default, even the second number will be multiplied by this, and you need to write it over here. So minus 1 into m square. Minus into plus, very obvious, minus आएगा, and 1 into m square will give you 1 m square. But ये 1 usually अगर coefficient 1 रहता है, you do not write it in polynomial. So I will just write m square. It is understood that it is 1 m square. Okay, now this number what I have written becomes a part of your quotient, and whatever I have written over here will go below the dividend. So what I write over here in the quotient part is m square, and below the dividend I write this. Now you will leave one line for sign change. Okay. Then over here 2m cube का कोई भी sign नहीं है, means it is considered as positive. So I write negative over here. This minus becomes plus. 2m cube gets cancelled. अभी ये minus आपको consider करना ही नहीं है. Once you change the sign, you are not supposed to consider the old signs. Okay. So m square plus m square. दोनों का कोएफिशिएंट नहीं है. By default it is understood it is 1. So it is 1m square plus 1m square, which becomes 2m square. The remaining part of dividend goes down as it is. So I will write plus m plus 9. Okay. Go to the next step. 2m minus 1 multiply by something so that you should get 2m square. 2m square किधर से आया? The first term of your dividend has to be the target as usual. Okay. अभी number part में there is no change required. Variable में ये m I want to make it m square. So m into m will give me m square. So basically 2m into m, 2m square तो मिल गया. By default even the second number gets multiplied. Minus 1 into m will give me minus 1m. But one coefficient लिखते नहीं है. So I just write minus m. Whatever I have written over here becomes a part of your quotient. Okay. So इधर में लिखेगा plus m. 2m square minus m is what I have got. Okay. Leave a line for sign change. So now minus plus. ये तो cancel हो गया. 2m square. Then it is plus m plus m. दोनों का कोएफिशिएंट नहीं है. मतलब you know that दोनों का कोएफिशिएंट 1 है. So 1m plus 1m will give you 2m. And plus 9 I will copy down as it is. Then you go to the next step in your working. 2m minus 1 multiply by something so that you get the first term of your dividend. My first term of the dividend is 2m. अभी अगर मैं देखूं तो मेरे नंबर में भी चेंज नहीं है, वेरिएबल में भी चेंज नहीं है, साइन में भी चेंज नहीं है. जब भी ऐसे होता है you will just write 1 because if I multiply by 1 everything will remain the same. So 2m into 1 will give me 2m. And then by default second number भी multiply होके आपको साइड में लिखना है. So minus 1 into plus 1 will give you minus 1. तो ये जो नंबर है वो इधर कोशेंट में लिखेंगे, ये जो नंबर है वो डिविडेंड के नीचे लिखेंगे. So what I get in the quotient part is plus 1 and below the dividend I will write 2m minus 1. Then I will draw a straight line for sign change. Minus plus. ये cancel हो जाएगा. 9 plus 1 will give you 10. And now your division ends over here. Is that clear? Because remainder का index is less than divisor का index. Okay. So now you will write your quotient. Your quotient is m square plus m plus 1. And your remainder in this case is 10. Okay. Clear? Then going to the next question, that is your question number 5. I will write the dividend. Your dividend now in this case is 3x minus 3x square minus 12 plus x raised to 4 plus x cube. As I told you, you guys are first supposed to check whether your dividend is there in standard form or no. Standard form का मतलब क्या होता है? It has to start with maximum index and then go in descending order. तो मेरा maximum index क्या है? 4 है. So that term will come first, x raised to 4. Then with index 3, so x raised to 3. Then with index 2, you have to pick up the number with the sign. And sign is always the sign which is before the number, not after the number. मतलब what I want to tell you is कि suppose अगर मेरे को 12 का sign देखना है, 12 का sign will be minus. It is not going to be plus. Number का sign is always the sign before the number. Okay. Now cube के बाद में minus 3x square, then the x term which is plus 3x, and last में the constant term. There are no missing terms in this case. Okay, because all the terms are present starting with the maximum index. Then your divisor is 2 plus x square. Write it in the standard form. Standard form मतलब starting with maximum index x square plus 2. Now few students might make a mistake of writing x square plus 0x plus 2. मतलब मैंने missing term insert किया है. Insertion of missing term is not to be done in your divisor. It has to be done only in your dividend. Divisor में missing term नहीं चाहिए. You just need to write it in descending order. Okay, so x square plus 2 is the modified form that I have written over here. Okay, chalo. Now going ahead, I will draw a column for my rough work over here. Rough work is a part of your solution. Please do it neatly. Okay, and now I will draw the necessary lines to perform my division. So 1, 2 and 3. Chalo, let's start with the division process. I first write my dividend x raised to 4 plus x cube minus 3x square plus 3x minus 12. And here I will write x square plus 2. Your first part of the working, x square plus 2, I need to multiply by something. And your target is always to get the first term of your dividend, which I will be writing it over here. So my target is to get x raised to 4. Okay, now so now what you need to ask yourself is कि ये x square किससे multiply करेंगे तो x raised to 4 मिलेगा. Very obvious, x square into x square will give you x raised to 4, and whenever a binomial gets multiplied, by default the second number also will get multiplied and you need to write it ahead. So plus 2 into x square will give you plus 2x square. Okay, now whatever you have written over here, it becomes a part of your quotient, and whatever you have written over here will go below the dividend. Okay, so accordingly if I specify, ऊपर x square आया, नीचे आएगा x raised to 4. Now very important thing, next term is 2x square. Please do not write it below the cube term. Okay, अगर इधर square है, आपको square के नीचे ही लिखना है. Okay, so this term, if I write it over here, it is wrong. Okay, you have to write this term below 3x square. Square के नीचे आएगा. So I write plus 2x square. Okay, please note down this step. Leave a line for sign change. Whatever numbers you have written on the second line, उनका sign change होगा. तो ये minus हो गया, ये भी minus हो गया. Okay, now x raised to 4, x raised to 4 cancel हो गया. Whatever is the remaining portion of the dividend will be copied down as it is. So ये x cube as it is नीचे copy होगा. No need to change the sign. X cube. Then you have minus 3 minus 2. ये plus तो consider ही नहीं करना है because sign change कर दिया है. So minus 3 minus 2. Numbers are of the same sign. So you add them. 3 and 2 का addition will be 5. So I write 5x square and the answer का sign is of greater number का sign. So 3 ka sign is negative. So I write minus 5x square. Remaining portion of dividend I will copy down as it is. So I write plus 3x minus 12. Then I start with the next. X square plus 2. You multiply by something in order to get the first term of your dividend. Same process will follow now. तो इधर मैंने x cube लिखा. किससे multiply करेंगे? ये x square x के साथ multiply होगा तो x cube मिलेगा, and by default the second number gets multiplied, which you will be writing it over here. So plus 2 into x, I will write it as plus 2x. This becomes a part of your quotient, and this thing you will write below the dividend. So over here I will write plus x, and नीचे I will write x cube, and ये जो x term है, I cannot write it below the square term. I have to write this x term below the x term. So plus 2x, I will write it below 3x. Now you draw a horizontal line after leaving a line for sign change. So sign change में ये negative हो गया, ये negative हो गया. This gets cancelled. Minus 5x square you copy down as it is. Then you have plus 3 minus 2. Numbers are of opposite sign, you subtract. 3 and 2 का subtraction 1. Abhi 1 as a coefficient we don't write. So I just write x. By default it is understood it is 1x. Greater number 3 है. 3 का sign क्या है? Plus. तो इधर भी sign plus आएगा. Minus 12 I copy down as it is. Okay. Now you go to the next step in your working. तो working में now I take x square plus 2. You need to multiply this by something in order to get your first term of your dividend, which is minus 5x square. So I write minus 5x square over here. Okay, x square into what will give you minus 5x square? Very obvious, x square into minus 5. Variable में तो कोई change नहीं चाहिए. Okay, so 1x square into minus 5 gives you minus 5x square, and 2 into minus 5 plus 2 into minus 5 plus into minus will become minus. So I write 2 into 5 gives you 10. So minus 10. This becomes a part of your quotient, which I write minus 5, and this you need to write below the dividend. So minus 5x square, and as I've explained you before, minus 10 will go below minus 12. Okay, leave a line for sign change. So this becomes plus, this also becomes plus. ये तो cancel हो गया. Plus x I will copy down as it is. Minus 12 plus 10. अभी numbers are of opposite sign, so you will subtract. 12 and 10 का subtraction will give you 2. Greater number is 12 and 12 का sign is negative, so I will write minus 2. Now if you go to see, इसका index कुछ नहीं है, मतलब 1 है. This index is less than divisor का index, so you cannot continue your division process ahead. This entire thing becomes your remainder. Okay, so now very obvious, you need to write your quotient. Quotient is x square plus x minus 5, which is copied from here, and your remainder is going to be x minus 2, which is this particular part. Okay, I hope things are clear up till now. This was your question number 5. Now I am erasing the entire screen, and we will go ahead with question number 6 and question number 7. Okay, let me draw few margins over here. Okay, these are the two sections in which we will do question number 6 and 7 respectively. Question number 6, your dividend is a raised to 4 minus a cube plus a square minus a plus 1. Okay, you need to check whether your dividend is in standard form or no. Yes, it is in standard form 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. There are no missing terms also involved. Then I write my divisor. My divisor in this case is a cube minus 2. Divisor standard form में है. There are missing terms क्योंकि cube के बाद में सीधा constant नहीं आएगा, तो 0a square 0a minus 2 ऐसा आपको लिखना नहीं है. This is to be done only in the dividend part, not in the divisor. Divisor standard form में होना चाहिए, but missing terms are not to be written in divisor. Okay, now we start with the division process. For that, this will be your working column. Working column is a part of your regular sum. Do not do it as rough work. Okay, these are the lines that I will require to perform your division. So a raised to 4 minus a cube plus a square minus a plus 1, and this is a cube minus 2. So now you will take the working. अभी working क्या है? First step, you take your divisor as it is, which is a cube minus 2. इसको किससे तो multiply करो, and your target is always to get the first term of your dividend. My first term of the dividend is a raised to 4. So I write a raised to 4 as it is. Now you need to ask yourself कि ये जो a cube है, इसको किससे multiply करेंगे तो a raised to 4 मिलेगा. Obvious है, number का तो कोई सीन ही नहीं है इधर. So a cube into a will give you a raised to 4, and whenever a binomial gets multiplied, by default the second number also will be multiplied with this, and it will be written over here. So minus 2 into a will give you minus 2a. So here I write a, and here I will write a raised to 4, and ये जो 2a term है ना, you cannot write below a cube, below a square, you cannot write. You have to write it below a term. Okay, so इधर में लिखेगा minus 2a. This is what we have done in the previous sum also. Leave a line for sign change. Minus plus, ये cancel हो गया. These two things will be copied down as it is. Okay, without any sign change. So that I write it as it is. So what I get is minus a cube plus a square. Now it is minus a plus 2a. Okay, ये जो जूना साइन है that I am not going to consider. So minus 1 plus 2 -1 plus 2 will be +1. Okay, 1 as a coefficient we never write. So I just write plus a, and +1 I copy down as it is. Then your next step in the working, take your divisor a cube minus 2, multiply by something. Target is always to get the first term of your dividend. My first term of the dividend is minus a cube. So that is what I will be writing over here, minus a cube. अभी देखो इधर a cube है, मेरे को a cube ही चाहिए. वेरिएबल में there is no change, but there is a change in the sign. Okay, नंबर के वैल्यू में भी चेंज नहीं है, खाली साइन चेंज करना है. So you will multiply by -1. 1 से किया मतलब वेरिएबल या नंबर चेंज नहीं होगा, क्योंकि -1 से किया my sign will change. And now by default the second number also gets multiplied, which you will be writing ahead over here. So -2 into -1, minus into minus will give me plus, and 2 into 1 is 2. This becomes a part of your quotient. This becomes a part of your dividend, which you need to write below the dividend. Okay, so -1, and here I will write minus a cube plus 2. I need to write it below +1. Okay, leave a line for sign change. So this will become plus, this will become minus. ये तो cancel हो गया. Now a square you copy down as it is, plus a copy down as it is, +1 minus 2. +1 minus 2. Numbers are of opposite sign. So you'll subtract them. 2 and 1 ka subtraction is 1. Greater number 2, and 2 ka sign is negative. So my answer will be -1. Now if you go to see, the sign of the remainder over here is less than the sign of the divisor. The index, sorry, not the sign, the index of the divisor, sorry, again I repeat, sorry, my mistake. Index of the remainder over here is 2, and index of the divisor is 3. If the index of the remaining part, that is a square, if it is less than the index of the divisor, you cannot do the division ahead. So this becomes your quotient, and this becomes your remainder. So last mein you will specify your quotient and remainder. Your quotient is a minus 1, and your remainder is a square plus a minus 1. And why this becomes the remainder? Because you have landed up with something jiska index is less than index of the divisor. Okay, chalo, going to question number 7, which is very, very important. Not at all easy. You need to have a good practice of this summer, even after watching this video. Okay, let's start with question number 7. सबसे पहले you write your dividend. Your dividend is 4x raised to 4 minus 5x cube minus 7x plus 1. Okay, first you need to check whether it is in standard form or no. 4 3 1 0 स्टैंडर्ड डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर में तो है, बट ये 3 के बाद में there is no term जिसका index 2 है. So there is a missing term, and missing term in dividend you are supposed to introduce it with coefficient 0. So I introduce that 0x square. बाकी का thing I copy down as it is. तो ये क्यों ऐड किया? Because a term with degree 2 was missing. Okay, then I take your divisor. Your divisor is 4x minus 1. It is already there in standard form. Now you start with the division process. So सबसे पहले I am taking the working over here. Working is a part of your regular sum. It is not your rough work. You need to do it in exam also, and it should be neatly done. Huh? Okay. Okay. So your divisor 4x minus 1 I write over here. Then you have 4x raised to 4 minus 5x cube plus 0x square minus 7x plus 1. Okay, this is what you have. Your first step in the working, 4x minus 1. अभी इसको किससे तो multiply करना पड़ेगा so that you get the first term of your dividend. My first term of the dividend is 4x raised to 4. Clear? Okay. Now number part में there is no change required because 4 का 4 ही है, but variable part में there is a change. Variable part में ये x I want to make it x raised to 4. So obviously I will multiply by x cube, and by default the second number also will be multiplied, which you will write over here. So 1 into x cube will give you x cube, and it is minus 1 into plus x cube. So minus into plus gives you minus, so minus x cube. Okay, this becomes a part of your quotient. This part you will write it below the dividend. Okay, so accordingly, if I write x cube up, and below the dividend 4x raised to 4 minus x cube. Then you will leave a line for sign change. So changing the sign, ये minus हो गया, ये plus हो गया. 4x raised to 4, 4x raised to 4 gets cancelled. Now see, you have minus 5 plus 1. Either कुछ भी number नहीं है, means by default you take it as 1. This sign you are not going to consider at all. So it is minus 5 plus 1. If numbers are of opposite sign, you will subtract them. 5 and 1 ka subtraction is 4. So I write 4x cube. Now you decide the sign of the answer. Sign is always of the greater number. My greater number is 5 and uska sign negative hai. So I write minus 4x cube plus आगे का dividend part I copy down as it is. Okay, now going ahead with the second step. Your second step is what? 4x minus 1. You multiply by something in order to get the first term of your dividend. My first term is what? Minus 4x cube. Okay, this is what my target will be. Now number part में अगर मैं देखेगा ना, तो 4 is becoming minus 4. मतलब I need a sign change. If there is a sign change required, you will multiply by a negative number, and x needs to become x cube. So I'll multiply by x square. Okay, so I'm multiplying by minus x square. By default, the second number also gets multiplied. So it becomes minus 1 into minus x square. Minus into minus gives you plus. So आगे I will write plus x square. 1x square and x square means the same. This becomes a part of your quotient, which I write up as minus x square, and this becomes a part which you need to write below the dividend. Okay, so below the dividend I will write minus 4x cube plus x square. Leave a line for sign change. So now this will become plus, this will become minus. ये तो cancel हो गया. Now 0x square minus x square. Either number नहीं है, मतलब by default we can take it as 1. So plus 0 minus 1 will give me minus 1. But 1, we do not write it. So I just write minus x square. It is understood it is minus 1x square. आगे का part I copy as it is. Now this is where the difficult part will start. Now in your third step, 4x minus 1, you multiply by something, and your target is to get the first term of the dividend, which is minus x square. So I write minus x square over here. अभी देखो क्या होगा. If you check your number part, either 4 है, किससे तो multiply करना है, and you want minus 1. अभी 4 को अगर मैं किसी से भी multiply करेगा तो 1 तो नहीं मिलने वाला है. Whenever you have such type of problem, क्या करने का मालूम है? Whatever number is required, you write it in the numerator as it is. So number कुछ नहीं है, मतलब it is 1. So I require 1. I write that 1 as it is in the numerator, and denominator में you will copy this 4. तो actually क्या हो रहा है मालूम है? इधर ये जो 4 है ना, you are multiplying by 1 upon 4. ये cancel होके you are getting what you require. Okay, same thing we have done in your first practice set. There were 2 questions like that where either से direct multiple नहीं मिल रहा था, so we took a fraction over here. Okay, so in this case 1 upon 4, and also there is a sign change required. Plus is becoming minus, so I write a negative sign. Now check the variable part. X is becoming x square, so I will write x. Clear? ये जो number है ना, it has to be in the reduced form. 1 upon 4 is already there in reduced form, so no need to do anything further. अभी by default even the second number will be multiplied by this, and you will write it over here. तो second number क्या है देखो, minus 1 into minus 1 upon 4x. Minus 1 into minus 1 will give you plus 1. So basically you have plus 1 upon 4x plus 1/4x can be written as x/4. x के साथ में 1 है, 1 नहीं लिखा तो भी चलेगा. So whatever number you get over here, it becomes a part of your quotient. So minus 1x/4 can be written as minus x/4. x के साथ में 1 नहीं लिखा चलता है. Okay, then whatever number I have written over here will come down over here. So what I get is minus x square plus x/4. Leave a line for sign change. So now this will become plus, this will become minus. ये तो cancel हो गया. अभी आगे का calculation क्या है मालूम है? Minus 7x minus x by 4. Look here. I will show it in different color over here. Minus 7x minus x/4. Forget the variable part. Numbers मेरे को चाहिए तो minus 7 minus 1/4. X is as it is. Okay, जो भी आंसर आएगा उसके साथ में I will be attaching this x. Okay, now minus 7 minus 1/4 I want to do. Many students will make a mistake of doing minus 7 minus 1. You cannot do that. Whenever the numbers gets added or subtracted, and if there is a fraction involved, you have to make the denominator same. Directly numerator subtract या add नहीं कर सकते. अभी over here इसका denominator कुछ नहीं है, so I take it as 1. So a common denominator will be LCM of 1 and 4, which is 4. ये 1 को if I want to make it 4, I need to multiply this by 4. If denominator gets multiplied by 4, numerator also will be multiplied by 4. So minus 7 into 4 will give you minus 28. ओके, ये 1 चेंज नहीं होगा. क्यों नहीं होगा? क्योंकि इसका डिनोमिनेटर ऑलरेडी 4 है. So that minus 1 I write it as it is. X I am going to attach it later. Now minus 28 minus 1, numbers are of the same sign, so you add them. So 29/4 तो आएगा ही. Now you check the sign of the answer. Sign is of the greater number, which is negative. So basically ये जो आंसर है, this answer I will write it over here. और ये जो मैंने किया है, this should go in your rough work. Okay, you may go back and see the entire this particular calculation again what I have done, and keep seeing it till you understand. Okay, I'm removing this. My final answer was minus 29x by 4. So that answer I write it over here, minus 29x by 4, and plus 1 I copy down as it is. Now you go to the next step. So you have 4x minus 1 multiply by something, and your target is to get the first term in your dividend part, which is minus 29x by 4. Now again look over here. Okay, ये 4 को मेरे को 29 by 4 बनाने का है. 4 के टेबल में 29 तो आने नहीं वाला है. तो what did I tell you? Whatever number you want, you write it as it is. So I want minus 29 by 4. साइन चेंज है, नेगेटिव नंबर से मल्टीप्लाई होगा. So minus 29 by 4. I have written what I require. ओके, बाद में मैंने क्या बोला था? इसका जो नंबर कैंसिल होना चाहिए डिवाइजर का, that you will write it in the denominator. So denominator में one additional 4 will come. So eventually क्या हुआ मालूम है? 4 into, ignore the sign, 4 into 29/4 into 4 किया मैंने. तो ये देखो 4 कैंसिल हो गया. What you are left with 29 by 4. Is that the same thing that was required? Yes. So नंबर पार्ट में समझ में आया क्या है? माइनस से क्यों मल्टीप्लाई किया? बिकॉज आई वांट अ नेगेटिव नंबर, सो देयर इज अ साइन चेंज रिक्वायर्ड, सो आई मल्टीप्लाई बाय अ नेगेटिव नंबर. और ये वाला जो नंबर है, इट हैज टू बी इन द रिड्यूस्ड फॉर्म. कैंसिल कुछ नहीं होगा न्यूमरेटर डिनोमिनेटर में. सो दिस नंबर इवेंचुअली इट इज minus 29/4 into 4 will give you 16. Okay, clear? Now by default even the second number will be multiplied with this. So minus 1 into minus 29/16. Minus into minus gives you plus. So I write plus 29/16. Just one second, I'll write it more proper. Plus 29/16. So whatever number is this becomes a part of your quotient. So in my quotient I will write minus 29/16, and whatever number I've got it over here, it becomes a part that you need to write below the dividend. Okay, so now that I write it as minus 29x by 4 plus 29 upon 60. Clear? You leave a line for sign change. ये plus हो जाएगा, ये minus हो जाएगा, ये तो cut हो जाएगा. Now remaining calculation is 1 minus 29 by 16. Again, you know the problem over here. There is a fraction involved. So 1 minus 29 directly नहीं होगा. You need to make the denominator same. So the common denominator 16. इसका denominator 1 है. इसको 16 बनाने का. So you multiply by 16. Multiply by 16 in numerator. तो numerator हो जाएगा 16. This is not going to change because इसका denominator already 16 है. So you get 16 minus 29, and 16 minus 29 is minus 13. Denominator is 16. So here I will write minus 13 upon 16. Okay, so now I don't have space to write quotient and remainder separately, so I'm directly showing you with red color. This becomes your quotient and minus 13 upon 16 becomes your remainder. I hope this question number 7 is clear. You need to practice it again and again till you get the correct answer on your own. Okay, and watch this sum as many times as you want till you understand it properly. This completes your entire practice set number 7.2. Now just one thing I want to tell you, that there is one more sum which is given in miscellaneous exercise 2. Towards the end in your textbook, you will be having something called as miscellaneous exercise, where the sums of all the chapters are given together. In that, there is only one sum of this chapter number 10, and this sum I'm not explaining you everything again. You can practice it on your own. It is also given in the notes. Okay, there is nothing new in the sum. A simple dividend is given and a simple divisor is given, which you can manage it on your own. So with this, I can conclude that I have completed your entire practice set number 10.2 and your entire chapter is over. Practice set 10.1 I have covered in the first video, and practice set number 10.2 I have covered in this particular video. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so students, I hope you all understood whatever was done in this particular video. Do write your views in the comment box and also subscribe to the channel to get all the latest updates regarding the videos that I am putting over here. You guys are free to share the video with even those students who are not a part of SRT, so that everyone can benefit from it. So today, after completing this chapter number 10 of your mathematics, I'll be back with more chapters over here. Till then, tata bye bye.